Hi there, I'm Vincent Boss and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing no contact, the stubborn ex. So before we get into the podcast, I just want to let you know about my website, dateme.tips. That's www.dateme.tips. Do you need help trying to save your crumbling relationship? Would you like advice on how to try and get your ex back? Or maybe you need an action plan on how to try and get a girlfriend or boyfriend. I provide email coaching on all of these subjects and can help your specific situation. Visit my website dateme.tips to find out more details. That's www.dateme.tips. You will also find on my site the books that I've written, my clothing range and other information. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast, and today we are discussing no contact, the stubborn ex. So when I say no contact, I'm referencing the no contact rule, and this is something that many people suggest you implement if you have been dumped and you want to try to get your ex back. However, there are many different versions of a no contact rule that you can find online, and I believe that my version will give you the best possible chance of trying to get your ex back. So I suggest that you subscribe to my podcasts so that you can familiarise yourself with my version of the no contact rule. But what if you're thinking to yourself, my ex was very stubborn? Okay, I understand the no contact rule. I understand what you are trying to promote, Vincent, but my ex was very stubborn when we was together. They was probably very stubborn before we met, and they are no doubt very stubborn now. When we was in a relationship, they never thought they was wrong. Even if I could prove otherwise, they would always stick to their guns. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, well, look, my ex would always try to pick faults in things I suggested. My ex would always keep a firm opinion, even if everything would start to prove that they should think differently. And you're thinking to yourself, how can this work? How can a no contact rule work on an ex who is stubborn and would refuse to change their mind from a decision they have made? So I understand your concern, and I understand the evidence is such that you tried to present when you were saying, well, look, my ex was stubborn for this reason, that reason, and the other reason. You're saying, well, why would they change their mind when it is not in their personality to do so? But I'm here to tell you today that the no contact rule works on everybody because we are all human beings and we all have human nature. Human nature will always beat individual traits. So even if your ex was very stubborn or still is very stubborn, that does not beat humanity, okay? That does not beat human relations, human connections, and human nature. It doesn't matter in what way, shape or form that an ex, that a dumper, that a dumpy, that anybody on earth is stubborn, the no contact rule will always work. And I'm going to explain to you in today's podcast why that is and why that being stubborn does not mean that the no contact rule will be ineffective. So at this point, I just want to mention my weekly wingman service. I can be your wingman for the week, providing you with bespoke motivational encouragement. This can be to help with your love life as well as ingraining a self-improvement mindset. The course begins with an audio call for us to speak and then moves on to emails. For more details on this service and information on audio coaching and positivity boosts, please click the link in the description. So now you're thinking to yourself, okay, I'm interested, I'm intrigued. Let me know why. Why on earth will your version of a no contact rule be able to penetrate and work on a stubborn ex? And I'm here to tell you, the no contact rule works on everybody. It works on human nature. And when I say it works, I mean that it slowly but surely pulls your ex to the point of where they want to reach out to you. Now, if and when they do reach out to you, that is when you move into the next stage of trying to get your ex back. But You have to get them to the point of reaching out to you first. And my version of a no contact rule will work on your ex, will work on the dumper, will work on human nature. And it is because that it acts on the principle that as humans, we place value on things which are rare. That is why we love diamonds, that is why we love gold, and that is why anything which is rare has additional value. Look at any television program that speaks about this type of stuff. Any type of documentary on this type of subject, the most expensive things are the rarest things. So by implementing my version of the no contact rule, you are making yourself scarce, okay? You are making yourself like a diamond. And when you do that, you will start to build interest and intrigue in your ex. Now, you must remember, when they ended the relationship, they had a very low amount of romantic emotional attraction for you left. That is why they ended the relationship, because this level was so low. And for them to reach out, this level needs to be risen to a certain point, which is when they will reach out. And for you to get from A to B, you need to be implementing my version of a no contact rule. You need to be including the hints and tips to speed this process up, which I go into in other podcasts I've done previously. And if you do these things, you will start to slowly but surely pull your ex further and further up until they get to the level where they reach out. Now, not all exes will get to this point. There is no 100% guaranteed way to get your ex back, and not every dumper will be moved to the level where they will then reach out. And this is because every level, every situation, every relationship is slightly different, and it will be based on the relationship as a whole, the breakup and the aftermath. When you consider all of these things, that will distinguish how low the romantic emotional attraction that is left, okay? The lower the amount, the harder and the longer the process it will take to get to that point. But however low this is, and even if it never reaches the level, my version of a no contact rule will work in that it will be slowly pulling your ex closer. You can't obviously see this. This is something you have to kind of almost envision and picture in your mind, but it will be slowly working on your ex. And that is why the no contact rule will always work, because it is always pulling them in the correct direction. Whether or not they get to that point, well, that depends on your relationship, the breakup, and the aftermath. That is why not everybody gets their ex back. That is why not everybody receives contact from their ex. But what I can tell you is that my version of a no contact rule does work on everybody, including stubborn exes. It doesn't matter how stubborn they were in the relationship. It doesn't matter how much they would do anything they can to remain in their position that they stuck with initially. It doesn't matter, because the no contact rule works on human emotion, human instinct, and because of these things, it beats it. It will drag it closer and closer to the point of when they will reach out to you. So if you feel that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.
Yeah, if you miss your ex, we can help with that. Help you get him back, or we can help find you someone else. Yeah, Vincent Bo, the relationship coach, giving you some insight, bringing you a new approach. DateMe.tips, go and check the site, giving you advice, helping with your love life. Get your ex back, or move to the next. Ain't no sweat, you know Vincent Bo got you. Finding love ain't no problem. Yeah, DateMe.tips, check it out now.